Our next presenter is Dheiaa Alfarge, a PhD student in petroleum engineering, and he will be presenting to us on feasibility of CO2, EOR, and shale reservoirs.
Good evening, everyone. Nowadays, you might hear a lot about climate change, global warming, greenhouse effect. Different names, same idea. The atmosphere layer surrounding the Earth works like a blanket, which controls the heat coming and leaving the Earth. In current years, we are producing too much of carbon dioxide because basically we are burning too much. So large quantities of carbon dioxide would result in interrupting the systematic work of the atmosphere layer. To mitigate the climate change, we need to reduce the carbon dioxide content in the atmosphere layer. So for now, keep this point in your mind. In the oil industry, we have another issue. We have shale oil reservoirs. This type of reservoir have a huge reserve under the ground. Unfortunately, we cannot produce them. The oil is viscous and heavy, so there is no way to flow from 1,000 feet from under the ground to the surface of the Earth. What I did in my research, I tried to capture the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere layer and try to inject it into this shale oil reservoir. I used experimental data, numerical simulation method, and pilot test conducted in Montana and North Dakota. When I try to inject carbon dioxide, CO2 would dissolve into this oil, swells the oil, and make it less viscous. So the flow started to flow to the surface of the Earth. The interesting thing is that the injected CO2 would not reduce back with the oil. Instead, it's going to stored and absorbed under the geological strata. To sum up, there are specific guidelines from my research. If we follow them, we will be able to produce billions of oil barrels from shale oil reservoir. In the meantime, we are going to store billions of CO2 cubic feet per day into this shale oil reservoir. So CO2 EOR, it is win-win strategy. Thank you so much.